Hello. I am Praveen Sonavne. You are watching India's most reliable and relevant channel where you get best in class study material and video lectures. Do check the links in the description box. So today we are going to start with a very interesting chapter of your mathematics textbook, that is arithmetic progression. Now about this chapter, arithmetic progression, this chapter is across all the boards, whether it is ICSE, CBSE or any of the India state board. Now what is arithmetic progression? Now progression means a series of number. We can start with any number and we can write that number in a form of a series. You have seen a number line, a natural number starting from 0 and it goes on to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. But when we write this series in a particular form, it can become one of the special series. Now what is the speciality of these series? There are many different kind of series. The first among them is arithmetic progression. Then also you have geometric progression. Then you have a combination of both, that arithmetico-geometric progression, harmonic progression, etc. But our concern today is the arithmetic progression. So without wasting any time, we will start with arithmetic progression. Give me one number, any number of your choice, and we will see how we can make arithmetic progression out of it. Now the first number which comes to my mind is say 25. So 25 is my number. Suppose I am increasing this number by a fixed value and that value happens to be 4. If I add 4 to this 25, next number is 29. And when I add 4 to 29, next number is 33. And when I add 4 to this 33, next number is 37, and we can go on and on till positive infinity. What is positive infinity? Okay, I'll tell you about it. Now, starting with same number, but what am I doing is, I am reducing this value. 24, I am reducing this 24 by 4. So this becomes 21. If I reduce 21 by 4, then 17. If I reduce 17 by 4, then 13, and so on. So there will be a time when this number, all the natural number will get over. Maybe you will get a 0, and then you will start getting the negative numbers. So this series is heading towards the negative infinity. So in this example, we have seen two series. These series are also called progression. So we have two progressions in front of us. Both of them starts with number 25, but one is heading towards the positive infinity and the other one is heading towards the negative infinity. Now this progression can be called as a arithmetic progression if its value is increasing or decreasing by a same quantity. So here that same quantity is 4. You see that first arithmetic progression is of increasing order, whereby first number is constantly increasing by 4. That is 25 plus 4, 29, 29 plus 4 is 33, 33 plus 4 is 37. Whereas same number 25, in this arithmetic progression, this number is decreasing by a constant value, that is 4. So after 25 you get 21. If you subtract 4 from the 21, you get 17. Further, if you subtract 4 from 17, then you get 13, and so on. And that will decrease. It will surpass a 0 mark and you will start getting a negative number. And this progression is heading towards the negative infinity. So such kind of progressions are called arithmetic progression. Very easy. Fine. So let us continue. Now I like to mention the geometric progression also over here. In geometric progression, your progression is not added or subtracted by same value. Instead, it is multiplied or divided by same value. Say 25 will become double, that is 50. 50 will be doubled into 100, and so on. Or if you divide 25 by 5, it will become 5, then 1, and so on. In geometric progression, numbers are multiplied by a constant value or divided by a constant value. But forget about the geometric progression. Let's concentrate only on the arithmetic progression. In arithmetic progression, as we see, number increases by fixed quantity And please don't get me wrong, every time it is not going to increase or decrease by 4. It can be increasing by 3 also. So in case of, let us say my first number is 25. If it is increasing by 3, then next number is 28, then 31, 34, and so on. And say my first number is 25, and this progression is a decreasing progression, and it is decreasing by 5. So 25 will become 20, which will, next number will become 15, then 10, and so on. So one is heading towards the positive infinity and another one is heading towards the negative infinity. So these kind of progressions are called arithmetic progressions. Fine, super easy. Let us continue. My first number, let us say, is 5. Next number is 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14, and so on. So you can see that my first number is 5. So this 5 is denoted as A, means first term of the AP, and I am increasing the values of the progression by 3. So this value which increases or decreases, that is called a common difference. So difference means what? Difference means subtraction. So here we are going to subtract the values. Now common difference, how do we find a common difference? So we select any two consecutive values and we subtract the second value of those two values from the first one, and we get the answer as 3. And point to be noted here is we got plus 3. And suppose if your progression is decreasing, like 14, 11, 8, 5 heading towards a negative infinity, and if you select any two consecutive numbers, so here common difference will be 8 minus 11, which comes up to be minus 3. So your difference is positive or your common difference is negative. It all depends upon what kind of progression you have, whether you have a progression of increasing order or you have a progression of a decreasing order. If numbers are increasing, please keep in mind that your common difference will be positive, and if numbers are decreasing, you will see that your common difference is negative. So we have understood two terms of this arithmetic progression, first term and the common difference. First term is the first number which appears in this progression, and common difference is that number by which your progression is either increasing or decreasing. If your progression is of increasing order, then your common difference or value of D will be positive. And in the converse case, if your progression is in decreasing order, then value of D will be negative. Easy? Yes, super easy. Let's continue. So I have learnt about the first term and the common difference, that is about A and D. Are there any other terms along with this which I should know to learn arithmetic progression? Yes, and that is N. Sometimes this N is known as the last term, or it is the position of a term. Suppose I am saying that N is equal to 5, means I am talking about the fifth term of this progression. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it is increasing by 3. So next term is 17. So this 17 happens to be my fifth term. So I can say N is equal to 5, or even I can represent this as A5 is equal to 17, which means fifth term is 17. So your arithmetic progression, the entire arithmetic progression chapters revolves around these three variables, that is first term or A, and then common difference, which is D, and N means number of a term. And sometimes An is called the nth term, or it is also called as the last term in some of the cases. Have a look at the scope of syllabus. So this is what we are going to learn from arithmetic progression. And here is the list of the formulae. You can copy it down. Some of the formulae I already have discussed with you, and the other formulae just write it down. I'll take some examples in a form of a numerical and we will discuss this formulae. Just have a look at this, copy it down, and we will continue. So here comes sum number 1. Let us read it. Which of the following is not an AP? This is a question which represents all the questions to find out whether a given progression is an arithmetic progression or not. As discussed earlier, arithmetic progression is that progression which increases by same value or decreases by same value. So we can solve this question within no time. And yes, remember that we are going to cover the entire lesson. We will be starting with easy questions and we will move ahead towards the difficult one. But believe me, we are going to cover this entire chapter properly. You can rely on this video for understanding this chapter. This video will prepare you for your board examination. We are going to cover each and every type of questions. But we are going to take only one question of each type. You need to practice more number of sums because I have taken only one question of each type. For that, you can download my app where you have number of questions, or you can follow your textbook or any other material. But yes, free notes available on app along with this video lectures can be highly beneficial for you. Without wasting the time, let us continue. So here we have 4 progressions in front of me. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. So this looks good. But don't come to any conclusion without having a look at all the options. There can be some trick, there can be some trap for us. So let us continue. 30 minus 3 is 27, minus 3 is 24. This also looks good. Remember that you can draw a conclusion based upon the 3 terms of the progression. What you require is the first 3 terms of the progression. So this also looks good. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 9. No, this is not increasing by a same quantity. Or if you subtract 4 minus 1, it gives you 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. So a different answer. So this is not the arithmetic progression. 19 plus 4 is 23, 23 plus 4 is 27. So this also looks good. And what I have to find out is which of the following is not an arithmetic progression. So my answer is C. Super easy. Here comes the second question. The common difference of the sequence 7, 15, 23, 31 and so on is what? Common difference. Do we have to find out a common difference? No. We have to choose from this option. So common difference is a positive number, is a negative number, constant, or a non-positive, non-negative value. Non-positive, non-negative number means only one number, which is 0. So pakka D is not my option. When I carefully look at this given progression or so-called sequence, what I see is value is increasing. My progression is heading towards the positive infinity. So definitely my common difference value of D will always be positive. The value of D is not asked in the question, but I can say that value of D is how much? 8. 15 minus 7 is 8. So 7 plus 8 is 15, 15 plus 8 is 23, 23 plus 8 is 31 and so on. And this value is positive value. No even need to find out value of D. So what I see is numbers are in ascending order. दूसरा नंबर 15 पहले से बड़ा है, 23 is bigger than 15, 31 is bigger than 23. Number is in increasing order, ascending order, बढ़ते क्रम में है, इसलिए we can say that D or a common difference is a positive value. So this was my second answer. This was also very easy. As yet we have not come across any threatening or a scary problem or even a problem where we are using the formula. So we go to question number 3, and in this question number 3 we have to find out the next term. A good question. This question has a potential to find a place in the board examination. So here we will use the formula. So next term of this AP So AP is in a decreasing order, we already have a negative number. So we know that next number which we are going to have is a negative number. Yes, any A, B, C, D, anything can be an option. So my first term is 9. What about common difference? Common difference is 5 minus 9, which is minus 4. We already knew that common difference is going to be a negative number because this progression is decreasing. It is heading towards the negative infinity. And we have to find out the next term. Next term means which term? This is first, second, third, fourth. We have to find out fifth term. So my value of n is 5. So I write my formula here, that is an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. A is 9, first term, plus n minus 1. Value of n is 5. So n minus 1 will be 4 into common difference, that is minus 4. So 9, 4 into 4 is 16, plus into minus is minus, 9 minus 16. So 16 minus 9 gives me negative 7. 9 minus 16 is minus 7. So my next term or my fifth term is minus 7. If you are writing MCQ test, you can take advantage of the format of this test. No need to even solve this entire thing. You can find out answer orally also. We know that value is decreasing by 4. So minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7. This is a shortcut or the easy or the shortest way in which you can reach your answer. So do I have minus 7 in my option? Yes. So my correct option is answer D or option D. So this question was one level up. Here we have to do some calculation. The previous two sums which we have done, they were like only inspect those sums and get your answer. But yes, you have to pick your pen, you have to do some calculation and you have to find out the answer for this sum. Let's see what is my next question. That is question number 4. So here comes question number 4, which is the first negative term of an AP. Yeah, this looks interesting and this is confusing also. You can mark this as an important question. This is a classic sum. Any board, any textbook you are using, whether you are using NCERT or whether you are using R.D. Sharma or M.L. Agarwal or Selina or prescribed by any government, this question will be there everywhere. So this is a important sum. This is a classic sum. The first negative term of AP, when we look at this progression is in a decreasing order. So value will decrease. You have to consider a number line. In a number line, if you are going towards the left hand side, you will see that number is decreasing. It will surpass a 0 and you will get your first negative number. So that is what I have to do. My first term is 20 and a common difference. If I subtract 16 from 12, I get minus 4. Now what about n? They are asking me the first negative term is which term? 5th term or 6th term or 7th term or 8th term? So position they are asking me. So I have to find out value of n. Yes, I can easily find out n. For that I will be using a formula. an, nth term, is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. But the crux of the problem is that we don't know which is the negative term. So I'll take my last term or nth term as 0. That means I am saying that this AP is decreasing and there will be a point that I may get a 0. I am not saying I will get a 0. In this case I think I will get a 0, but I may get a 0. So that 0, first I will find out a position of 0. So whatever is a position of a 0, I have to add 1 to that number because my first negative number will be after 0. I'll explain you this. First let me find out the value of n. So I am saying my nth term is 0. So that is equal to a, which is 20, plus n minus 1. I don't know the value of n. I am interested in finding out the value of n into d. D is minus 4. Common difference is minus 4. So therefore 0 is equal to 20 if I open the bracket with minus sign. Remember, be extra careful whenever you are opening the bracket with minus sign, because minus sign goes inside the bracket, or when it comes outside the bracket it changes the sign of the values which are present inside the bracket. So plus n will become minus 4n, and minus and minus will become plus. 1 into 4 is 4. So minus 4 comes inside the bracket, and positive n become negative n, and this constant which was negative became positive. So 4n I bring on the right hand side, it becomes plus 4n, and 20 plus 4 is 24. I divide both sides by 4, so I am getting value of n as 6. So if I keep on decreasing this value by 4 in this progression, my sixth term is going to be 0, and my first negative number will be on the 7th position. Why 7th position? 7th term. Why? Because if you keep on decreasing, on 6th position value of n was 6. So my on 6th position I had a 0, and on 7th position I will be having my first negative number, which is minus 4. How do I come to a conclusion that it is minus 4? Because this is decreasing by 4. So answer is 7th term. My correct option is option C. I will highly recommend that you solve the question of this type, and remember this type. These types of question I have seen in several exams. So please remember this type. After surpassing our first challenge, let's move on to the next challenge. So next challenge for us is this question number 5. If the second term of AP is 13 and fifth term is 25, what is the seventh term? Yes, very important question. My favorite. Don't be scared. My favorite doesn't mean that this is going to be a difficult question. Now those questions are always important for your examination when it also involves some element from the other chapter. So you have studied a chapter, linear equation in two variables. So that concept, that knowledge we are going to use for solving this sum. Now this question says that second term of an AP is 13. This makes me write A2 is equal to 13. And fifth term is 25. A5, fifth term is 25. Now I have to use both the equations very intelligently to get my answer. I'll frame equation number 1 from this piece of information and equation number 2 from this piece of information. So these will be two equations with two variables, and we have to solve them simultaneously. Yes, you got it right. We have to solve them simultaneously. Let's move ahead. And also we have to find out the seventh term. Don't worry, it's important. If we have a proper approach, we can crack it, we can todfod it very easily. So my formula is nth term is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. Write this formula again and again. You will remember this within no time. That is the best way of remembering the formula. That is, write it as many times as you can. So I am given with second term. So a2 is equal to first term. I have no clue at all about this term, and value of n is equal to 2. Second term a2 second term, so value of n is 2. This will make n minus 1 as 2 minus 1, which is 1. So 1 into d. What about common difference? Again, I have no idea whatsoever about the common difference. So a2 is 13 is equal to a plus d. This is my first equation out of two linear equations which I am going to get. Fifth term a5. You are smart enough to understand this. A remain as it is, and 5 minus 1, same manner. Here n is 5, so 5 minus 1 will become 4. So 4 into D. Fifth term is 25. 25 is equal to A plus 4D. This is my second equation. There are many ways in which you can solve this equation. Few of the methods which you have learned is by method of elimination, by the method of substitution, by method of simultaneous, graphically, cross multiplication method. But we will use the easiest one. We will solve them simultaneously. I'll subtract these two equations. I'll subtract the first equation from the second one. My second equation is A plus 4D is equal to 25, and my first equation is A plus D is equal to 13. So subtraction, minus, minus, minus. So plus A minus A get cancelled. 4D minus D is 3D, and 25 minus 13 is how much? 12. So if I divide 3 on both sides, value of D is equal to 4. So I got the value of D. I am interested in 7th term. Can I find out A? So yes, 13. So you can look at equation number 1 from 1. 13 is equal to A plus D. Value of D is 4. I got it just now. So 13. Therefore 13 minus 4 is equal to A. That is A is equal to 9. Isn't it easy? Now we have A, we have D, we can find out any of the terms. Now I have to find out the 7th term, means I have to find out A7. A7 is A plus n minus 1. 7 minus 1, that is 6D. So value of A is 9 and value of D is 4. So 9 plus 6 into 4 is 24. 24 plus 9 is 33. Do I have this option? The answer is yes. Option B is the correct answer. So I started with this first part, then this is the second part, this is the third part, and this is the last and fourth part before I got the answer. I'll just get out of the screen so that you can copy down this sum. Yes sir, we are getting a confidence that this chapter may be challenging but not that difficult. Yes, that's what I'm here for. Let's move on to next question. So here come my next question. Question number 6. If the common difference of an AP is 5, I'll put this data, common difference is represented by D, which is equal to 5, then the difference in its 30th term and 15th term is what? So common difference is what we know, 5, and we have to find out difference in its 30th term and 15th term. A30 minus A15, minimum information, and we have to find out the maximum value. How to do it? So take my words, for these kind of sums, don't go by traditional method. This is the part which makes arithmetic progression a very, very interesting chapter. The decisions you make on the spot, ki what method am I going to use. Always remember that there will be some easy way to crack any question, to todo any question, and we have to find out that. Only common difference is given and we have to find out 30th term and 50th term, and then we have to subtract it. How to go about it? Don't waste your time in finding out a 30th term separately and 15th term separately. That's what I'm saying. We will not follow a traditional way. We will use our expertise to solve this sum. And in maths, what you require is some expertise. And this question is there because there are some shortcuts to solve this sum. A30 minus A15 is what I have to find out. Now my formula for nth term is A plus n minus 1 into D. My 30th term will be A plus 29D. Sir, how 29D? Just like I have taken in a previous question. A as it is, D as it is, value of N is 30. So 30 minus 1 is 29. Minus, now tell me what should I write? A as it is, D as it is, and in place of N I have 15. So this is 15 minus 1, that is 14. So open the bracket with minus sign. In previous sum also I have alerted you that whenever you open the bracket with a minus sign, you have to be extra alert, because here positive A will become negative A and this value of D was positive will become negative. So minus A minus 14D. Here we cancel positive A and negative A, and 29D minus 14D. So 15D is what I get. So value of D is given as 5. So 15 into 5, which is 75. Now I have to check which option, A, B, C or D. So correct option is option D. So look at this sum, such a brilliant sum. It really tests your mathematical acumen. Be intelligent and always think out of the box. Think differently. So here what I do is I don't panic. First term is not given, no other information other than value of D or a common difference. So start, pick up your pen, start solving it. While you solve, you will start getting a clue. And these are some landmark sums. You have to remember them. And these are the kind of questions which you will be getting in the examination. You will see that I am not taking a regular kind of question. Yes, initially I took regular questions, but now I am taking different kind of questions. Questions which really challenge us. So let's be prepared to face the another challenge. So this is the next challenge in front of us. Challenge 2.0. The number of terms of AP 5, 9, 13 so on up till 185 is dash. Now look at this sum. Be smart, be alert, be attentive. Alertness is very important in maths. A plus n minus 1 into D is the formula for nth term. Value of A, first term is 5. N is what I have to find out, and common difference 9 minus 5 is equal to 4. And nth term means last term is equal to 185. So 5 plus 4 into n is 4n minus 4 is equal to 185. Therefore 4n is equal to 185 minus 5 plus 4. Therefore 4n is equal to 180 plus 4 is equal to 184. Dividing both sides by 4, I get value of n as 46. So I can say that my 46th term is 185, or total number of terms is equal to 46. So correct option is option C. After solving two very interesting sums, comparatively this was the easier one. Let's see what's in the store for us next. So here, okay, variables. If 3x minus 1 first term, 3x plus 5 second term, and 5x plus 1 are three consecutive terms, it will become easy for us to understand if we use a bracket. So 3x minus 1 first term, 3x plus 5 second term, and this 3 and 5x plus 1 are three consecutive terms of an AP, then value of x. Now I want to get value of x. Whenever you have to find out any value, what you have to take help of is the equation. So here, which equation I can get so that I could find the value of x. So which equation I am going to try out so that I get the value of x. I will be using this formula, common difference, which I can also write as D is T2 minus T1 is equal to T3 minus T2 and so on. Why we call this as a common difference? Because if we subtract two consecutive terms, you get a same value, you get a common difference or you get a constant difference. So this equation will give me my answer. T2 is second term is 3x plus 5 minus the first term 3x minus 1 is equal to T3 third term 5x plus 1 minus the second term 3x plus 5. Opening the bracket, we are opening the bracket with a negative sign, so we have to be extra alert because signs will change. Positive 3x will become negative x and negative 1 will become positive 1. And here 5x plus 1 minus 3x minus 5, again negative sign, so be alert. It is difficult to open the bracket with the multiplication as compared to opening the bracket with the positive or a negative sign. So 3x got cancelled and this is 5 plus 1 which is 6, which is equal to 5x minus 3x 2x and plus 1 minus 5 is minus 4. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 2x. Minus 4 migrated from right side to the left hand side became plus 4. That is, I'm changing the sign, so I'm writing that is 2x is equal to 10. Dividing both sides by 2, I get value of x as 5. Do I have 5 here? Answer yes. Correct option is D out of these options. So solving this question or solving the equation, this part was easy. The difficult part or the challenging part here is to frame the equation. I always tell my students, I want my students to be very intelligent as far as handling of the equation is concerned. If you learn how to handle the equation, how to frame the equations, solving the equations is a cakewalk. So use your equations, handle your equations carefully and intelligently. That is a key of getting good marks in your maths paper. So after solving this question, let's go for next question. So this is my question number 9, which is asking me to find what? Which term of a AP 21, 18, 15 so on is minus 81. Values are decreasing. So sooner or later you are going to find out a negative value as this AP is heading towards the negative infinity. But my last term is minus 81 and I have to find out which term is 81, and options are 32nd term, 33rd term, 34th term or 35th term. So let's accept this challenge and solve. A is equal to 21. What about a common difference? This is going to be a negative number because values of this AP are in descending order. So 18, 19, 20, 21. So if you subtract 21 from 18, you get value of D as minus 3. And last term I know AN is equal to minus 81. And I have to find out the position, which term, value of N, when AN is equal to minus 81. So straightforward formula, AN is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. Nth term is minus 81. So which is 21 plus N minus 1. I have to find out value of N. So N as it is, and common difference is minus 3. Now you might have noted that whenever I write these values, I always use a bracket because it is multiplication. I will suggest that use a bracket properly. Be very responsible about the brackets. Ignoring some brackets here and there can cost you lots and lots of marks. So be very careful about your brackets. So this is minus 81 plus 21. I am opening the bracket with minus sign, so signs will change. 3 into n is 3n and sign is negative, so minus 3n, minus becomes plus 3. Here it is equal to. Therefore minus 81 what I will do is I will take 3n on the left hand side, and right hand side is 21 plus 3 plus 81 minus n. 81 goes to other side and becomes plus 81. And keep in mind that value of n can never be negative, because that is a position of a number. Which term? So it cannot be 0. 0 means that number is not in this series. At the same time, position cannot be negative also, or it cannot be in a fraction also. Let us see what we get value of n as. 305. Yes. Cross check. Be double sure about your answer. 3n is equal to 105. Dividing both sides by 3. 3 into 3 is 9. 3 into 3 is 9. Remainder is 1. 3 into 5 is 15. So my answer is 35th term. So correct option is option D. So this was question number 9, and correct option was option D, 35th term. Now moving on to question number 10. In this question number 10, what are we going to do? If 8 times the 8th term of an AP is 15 times the 15th term, then 23rd term of AP is dash. If you pick up your pen, take a notebook and start solving this sum is a very long sum. Its solution is very lengthy, but I will tell you a technique, I will tell you a method, the easiest way whereby you can find out the answer of this sum orally. Yes, orally. And this is the most favorite sum of the examiners. I have seen many examinations, many school exams, board exams having this sum. This is one of my favorite. This is the ultimate sum, the ultimate sum. You will enjoy the trick, you will enjoy the technique. 8 times the 8th term is equal to 15 times the 15th term. This is the equation or the information which is given to us, and we have to find out 23rd term. Of similar nature, of same type, there are two categories of question. One where you find out a particular term, and there is another question also where you find out sum of 23 terms. Let's not bother about this. Maybe next sum we will take of this kind. So look at this question. 8 times 8th term, 15 times 15th term. If I generalize this question, if I take this as m times mth term is equal to n times nth term, then what is m plus n term? Yes, this is a catch. What is m plus n? M plus n. This is m plus n. I am repeating this, m plus n, because 8 plus 15 is 23, and mind you, m plus nth term is always 0. So answer is 0. No need to solve. Answer is 0. So my correct option is going to be option A. So 8 plus 15. In your examination you will get some other question saying that what 10 times 10th term is equal to 20 times 20th term. So find out the 30th term. So 30th term is going to be 0. Numbers will change, but make sure that sum of these two numbers is equal to the term which we have to find out, and if that is the case, your answer is going to be 0. So 8 times 8th term is equal to 15 times the 15th term. So formula of an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. I'll substitute that here, 8 into and 15 into. Now you will agree that first term is a, because I don't know what is the first term, and value of n is 8, so 8 minus 1 is 7d, and this is a plus 15 minus 1 is 14d. 8a minus 15a is equal to 210d minus 56d. this is minus 7a is equal to 10 minus 6 is 4 and 20 minus 5 is 15d. You get minus a is equal to 22d. This is what I am going to use later on. Now I have to find out 23rd term. So 23rd term is equal to n minus 1. So 23 minus 1, 22d. So a plus 22d is equal to minus a. So minus a plus a gets cancelled and your answer is 0. This is a long cut or the long method in which you can solve this sum. In board examination, you have marks for writing a steps also. So you can write it in this manner. Can we go for the next sum? And next sum will be of same nature. So here I have my next question, more or less of same nature. The sum of 56 term of an AP whose 19th and 38th term are 52 and 148 respectively is, means we have to find out sum of 56 terms. Sum of 56 terms. So in earlier sum we have found out m plus nth term. But this sum is not related to nth term or mth term, but it is related to sum of terms. So for a change, here we are going to use this formula. Now forthcoming sums will be related to formula Sn, which is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Sum of 56 terms of an AP, we have to find that. But it is given that 19th term will be what? 19th term, formula for an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. So 19th term will be a plus 19 minus 1 is 18d is equal to 19th term is 52. And 38th term is 148. So 838 is equal to a plus 38 minus 1 is 37d is equal to 148. And we are about to add these two parts or these two equations. So a plus a will become 2a plus this is 55d and this will sum up to 200. So this is what I have. I will be using this as equation 1. Now I am finding out find sum of 56 terms. So S of 56 is what I have to find out and not the 56th term. We have to find out sum of 56 terms. So if I use this formula, it is 56 upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1. 56 minus 1 is 55d. So 56 upon 2 into this value is 200. How do I get 200? From equation 1, which I already have framed. This equation 1. So 2 into 100. So 56 into 100 is 5600 and this is my option A. So look at these sums. They are so very easy. What you require is alertness, sharp mind, some friendship with the numbers. If you have all these qualities, you can get through sums like this very easily. And these are the kinds of sums which are asked in the examination. Take any sample paper, take previous year paper, you will find questions like this. So that is the reason I told you right in the beginning that I am going to select some of the very important questions. I may not be solving 50 questions, 75 questions or 100 questions. I will be solving few very important hand-picked sums which will be very useful for your board examination. You can pause the video and you can copy this question. Now let's see what next question is all about. So here's my question number 12, where you are going to directly use a formula for finding out sum of first 10 terms of AP. Here I can say A is equal to 5. What about common difference? Is it positive or negative? I see numbers are in increasing order going towards the positive infinity. So my D is going to be positive. And 8 minus 5 is 3. Value of D is 3. And I have to find out first 10 terms. Sum of first 10 terms. So value of N is 10. And I will be finding out Sn. So Sn is equal to n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Sum of first 10 terms is equal to 10 upon 2 into 2, value of a is 5 plus n minus 1. 10 minus 1 is 9 and value of d is plus 3. Into 2 into 5 is 10, 9 into 3 is 27. So 10 upon 2 into 37. So 5 here. So 7 into 5 is 35, 3 carry, 15 plus 3 is 18. So sum of first 10 numbers is 185. So my option is option B. It was a very easy question because this was just a straightforward question where you have a data, you use a formula, you substitute the values correctly and you get your answer. Please pause the video and copy down this question before we move on to the next question. Let's see what is the next question. So here we have our next question, which is again a challenging one. Not that difficult, but definitely time consuming. These are the kind of questions which I call them speed breakers. They consume lot of your time during the examination. In this question, a is equal to x plus 1. Last term or the nth term is equal to x plus 28. What about common difference? So, difference of two consecutive terms, which is x plus 4 minus x minus 1, opening the bracket with negative sign. So both positive will become both negative. Plus x minus x got cancelled and common difference is 3. So these are three important information for me. Apart from this, I will also try to find out the terms, number of terms which are present in this equation. So an last term is x plus 28. This will help me to get the value of n. Formula for an is a plus n minus 1 into d, which is x plus 28. What I have done here, if you are confused, so an formula is a plus n minus 1 into d. This formula I have used and substitution and right hand side as it is. So a is x plus 1 plus n minus 1 into d, value of d is 3, is equal to x plus 28. X and x I can cancel from both the sides. So what remains here is 1 plus 3n minus 3 is equal to right hand side is 28. Therefore 3n is equal to right hand side is 28 minus 3 will move towards the right side, become plus 3 and plus 1 as minus 1. So 3n is equal to 30. Dividing both sides by 3, value of n I am going to get as 10. I think I have all the data now to find out the value of x. So I can use this, I can use value of d and this to get the value. Now this is Sn. I am using this formula. Sn is equal to n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Why? Because I have to find out sum of these terms. I have to add them all. So sum. So n is 10. So 10 upon 2 into 2, value of a is x plus 1 and value of n is 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9 and common difference is 3. So this will be 10 upon 2 into 2x plus 2 plus 27. And also I can substitute this sum as 165. Therefore, 165 is equal to 10 upon 2 into 2x plus 29. Now no place to solve, but I'll make some place and I'll try to solve. On cross multiplication, I'll be getting 165 into 2 upon 10 is equal to, bracket I'm not doing anything, I'm keeping as it is, 2x plus 29. On solving this, 2 into 5 is 10, 5 into 3 is 15, 1 is a remainder, 5 into 3 is 15. That means I am getting 33 minus 29 is equal to 2x plus 29 comes to other side. I am changing the side, so I am writing that is 2x is equal to what? Is it 4? Yes. Dividing both sides by 2 and my value of x is 2. So here my correct option is B. As I told you, this sum can be a speed breaker, will consume lot of time. Please pause the video and copy down this question. So after this question, we will move on to the next question. That is question number 14. So here we have a special question which is based on assertion and reason. I'll go out of the screen so that you can read this question carefully. So in this question, your option A will be when both assertion and reason are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Option B is both reason and assertion and reason are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Option C is assertion is correct but reason is incorrect. And option D is assertion is incorrect but reason is correct. So when you have question of this kind where you have assertion and reason, find out whether your assertion is a true statement, whether your reason is a true statement or a false statement. First we will find out that, then we will choose from both the options. Now my assertion is sum of first 100 natural terms divisible by 5 is 25,250. So we have to solve this. So our series is what? Now we want number divisible by 5 and first natural number. So first natural number divisible by 5 is 5, second is 10, third is 15 and so on up. Always get the series. Whenever you find solving a sum is difficult, whenever you have word problem, find out your series and convert that into a regular sum. So I can say that here value of A, my first term is A, common difference, that is if I subtract second term from the first term, I get D as 5, and what I have to find out is sum of first 100 terms. I have to find out S100. I'll be find out S100, and if I get S100 as 25,250, then this statement is a true statement. As I told you, first we are not bothered about the option. We are going to find out whether this assertion is a true statement or it is a false statement. So we have a very limited space. So I have to find out sum of 100 terms, which is n upon 2, means 100 upon 2 into 2a. A is 5 plus n minus 1, 100 minus 1 is 99 into D. D is also 5. So this is, let me take as 50 into 2 into 5 is 10 plus 99 into 5 is 495. So this is 50 into 505. So 0 carry forward. On multiplying this, you get same answer, that is 25,250. So can I say this statement, your assertion is true. Now for reason, I will try to find out whether it is a true or a false statement. Sum of the first n terms of an AP is n upon 2 into first term A plus L last term. So this is also true. statement is also true, and reason is also true. So one thing is for sure, when both are true, your option is either A or B. C is the option when your assertion is correct but reason is incorrect. So when you get this as true and this as reason as false and assertion as true, so this is not my option because I have both of them true. This also is not my option because D can be option when assertion is false and reason is true. So I have to select between these two. So they have this part same. Now second part, when I have found out this answer, that is 25,250, have I used this formula? Answer is no. Can I use this formula? Again answer is no, because I don't know what is the last term. So both are true, but reason is incorrect. Okay, it is not the correct explanation. So this option will also be eliminated, that is option A, and my correct option is option B. If you still have a problem, you can drop your comment in the comment box. So here you have a competency based question whereby there will be one question and there will be 4 to 5 sub questions. In a school assembly, students are asked to stand in a row. 6 students stand in a first row, 8 students in a second row, 10 students in a third row, and so on. Even I told this in a previous question, whenever you have a word problem and you find word problem difficult to solve, in that case what you can do is you can convert it into a arithmetic progression. So in first row 6 students, in second row 8 students, so in third row 10 students, and so on. That means value of A is 6, D means common difference. Subtract any two consecutive term, difference is 2. Find the number of students in the 7th row. So for this sum, we have to find out number of students in 7th row, means value of n is 7. And what I have to find out? Do I have to find out how many total number of students in 7th row? No. I have to find out number of students only in the 7th row. So I have to find out A7. I have seen that some students are confused when to find out A7 and when to find out S7. S is the sum. When you have to find out total number of students in all 7 rows, then you are going to use a formula of S7. But here you have to find out number of students in that particular row, that is 7th row. That means you are going to find out A7. Now my formula is AN is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. So A7 is equal to A, which happens to be 6, plus N minus 1. 7 minus 1 is 6 and value of D is 2. So 6 plus 12 is 18. So number of students standing in 7th row is 18. So my correct option is option B. So this was a regular question. You will make this sum difficult for you only by not converting this word problem into an arithmetic progression. Have this habit of converting a word problem into arithmetic progression, and once you have a series of numbers, then you know A, you know D, it will be very easy for you to find out any value. So after solving this first part, let's move on to the second part. So question is same. Second part is if there are total 150 students, then total number of rows formed is dash. So we have 4 options. As I told you, the best way to solve this sum is to convert word problem into a arithmetic progression. So what is arithmetic progression? First row 6 students, second 8, third 10, and so on. So which gives me value of A first term as 6, value of D as 2, because if you add 2 to the previous number, you get the second number. Now additional information here is total number of students is 150. Total number of students. This is the decision which you have to make. SN means total number of students. Sum of all the students is 150. Then find total number of rows. Number of rows we have to find out. That is, we have to find out value of n. Since Sn is given, I am going to use a formula of Sn, which is n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So 150 is equal to n upon 2 into 2a, a is 6, n minus 1. I cannot substitute n because that is unknown. That is what exactly I have to find out, and common difference is 2. Therefore, 150 multiplied by 2 is equal to n into 12 plus 2n minus 2. I have opened the bracket with 2. Therefore, 150 into 2 is equal to n into 2n plus 10. 12 minus 2 is plus 10. So this is 300 and this is 2n square plus 10n. So I have a quadratic equation, 2n square plus 10n minus 300 is equal to 0. I shift this 300 to that side and it is minus 300 and one of my side is 0. And also I have swapped the sides. So each term is divisible by 2. So if I divide each term by 2, so I get n square plus 5n minus 150 is equal to 0. Now this is very easy, a quadratic equation. I want two numbers. On adding will be plus 5 and on multiplication will be minus 50. So which are those two numbers? Those numbers are 15 and 10. Where should plus and minus sign go? Plus 5, so plus is here and minus will come here. All this you learn in a chapter called quadratic equation. So these are my factors. So I can write this as n plus 15 into n minus 10 is equal to 0. Therefore n plus 15 is equal to 0 or n minus 10 is equal to 0. Therefore n is equal to 10. Therefore here on solving this part we get n is equal to minus 15. But n cannot be minus 15. I have told you that neither be negative nor 0 or any fractional value, because n is the position, it is the number of row. So number of row cannot be negative, it cannot be 0 or it cannot be in fraction. So we discard minus 15 and we got n as 10. So this is the option. My correct option is option C. You can copy down this question and once you are done we can move on to the next part. So now the next part of the question is this. The main question is same, only sub part is changed. Each part will carry 1 mark. If the total number of rows is 12, n is equal to 12, then number of students in the assembly. Again we have to find out total number of students in the assembly. My series remains the same because main question is same. So A is 6 and D is 2 and n is 12. I have to find out Sn. This happens to be a straightforward question. Sn is n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into D. I have to find out total number of students who are standing in 12 rows. So n is 12. So 12 upon 2 into 2a. Value of a is 6 and 12 minus 1 is 11 and value of D is 2. So this is 12 upon 2 into 6 into 2 is 12 plus 22. So 12 upon 2 into what? 34. 2 into 6 is 12. 6 into 4 is 24. 2 carry 18 plus 2 is 20. 204. So my correct option is option B. Total number of students standing for assembly in 12 rows is 204. Now fourth part of this question is very interesting because here we have to find out in which row number of student is 20. So my progression is 6, 8, 10, so on, and I have to find out at what position, which term is 20. in which row there will be 20 students. So all the other data remain same. A is equal to 6, D is equal to 2. Here additional information which you have is AN is equal to 20, or last term is equal to 20 as for this question. I'll use a formula of AN, which is A plus N minus 1 into D. So last term is 20 and A is 6 and N is what I have to find out. So N minus 1 into value of D is 2. Therefore 20 minus 6 is equal to 2N minus 2. 20 minus 6 is 14 plus 2 is equal to 2N. Therefore 16 is equal to 2N, dividing both sides by 2. Therefore N is equal to 8. So in 8th row, number of students will be 20. So 8th term is 20. You can check this. 6, 8, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 and 20. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth. So 8th term is 20. So correct option is option C. These kind of questions whereby a big question is divided into further sub question will give you marks in the examination very easily. And moving towards the last question of this chapter, last question of the day is this question. I think this question is not related to the data given above. If the sum of n terms of AP is given by 3n square plus 5n, sum of n terms of the AP is given as 3n square plus 5n, and the kth term AK is equal to 164. What is the value of K? We have to find out the value of K. Now this question looks difficult, and yes, it is difficult, but we have technique, formula to solve this sum also. But which formula we are going to use? If you rewind the lecture and go to the page where I have given you a formula, there was formula, that is nth term is sum of n term minus sum of n minus 1 term. So kth term will be S of k minus S of k minus 1. Now my kth term is 164. So Sk will be, wherever you see n, substituted by k. So this will be 3k square plus 5 into k. And k minus 1. So wherever you see n, you will substitute it by k minus 1. So 3 into k minus 1, the whole square, plus 5 into k minus 1. Therefore 164 is equal to 3k square plus 5k minus 3 into, on using a identity, a minus b the whole square is a minus 2ab plus b square. I get k minus 1 the whole square as k square minus 2k plus 1 plus 5k minus 5. Therefore 164 is equal to 3k square plus 5k minus 3k square. I am opening the bracket with minus 3. Minus minus become plus 6k minus 3 minus 5k plus 5. Okay, so this minus have changed all the signs. Plus 3k square minus 3k square got cancelled, plus 5k and minus 5k also got cancelled. So what am I left with? Therefore 164, any number on the right hand side, that is minus 3 plus 5. Minus 3 plus 5. Minus 3 will become plus 3, plus 5 will become minus 5, and on right hand side it is 6k. So my plus 3 minus 5 is minus 2. So this gives me 162 is equal to 6k. Dividing both sides by 6, my value of k is 6 into 2 is 12, 4 is remainder, 6 into 7 is 42. So my K is 27 and B option is 27. So value of B is 2. So we started with the easy question and we have moved on to the most toughest one, and in the entire process we have covered all the types of questions. See this video, practice more questions like this, and suggestion from your side are most welcome. I am waiting for it. So please make sure you drop your comment in the comment box. I will try to reply to each and every comment. Last but not the least, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you get the notification when I post a next chapter. Also, do let me know which chapter should I start next. By the way, I am planning to start with ratio and proportion. If you have a better suggestion, let me know in the comment box. So keep practicing, solve as many sums as you can. Success will be yours. Best of luck.